Hey guys, welcome back to Best One Automotive, where we specialize in your Honda and Acura vehicle. Today we do have something a little bit different. We got a 2001 Toyota Solara. Going to be doing a timing belt and a water pump on this. So we'll separate this in two videos. Part one will be disassembly. Part two will be putting it all back together. All right, let's get started.
Go ahead and get our 10, 14, 12, extension, 10. Alright, first thing we're going to do is pull off our drive belts here. Bolt here, adjuster. If you're the type of person that leans on the car a whole lot, you'll want to cover these surfaces. I try to stay off of them completely. Newer cars, the fenders are so thin, you lean on them, they just dent, so I try not to even touch them anymore. Alright. Loosen this up. Don't ever like how that sounds. Tell you what. Do this one-handed. Well, all right. I see what I've done here. There you go. I was gonna say that should come off a lot easier than that. I am gonna go ahead and remove. Keep leaning on that. I'm going to go ahead and remove this. Okay, that sounds better. What I normally do is I try to keep all my bolts together and the way they come off. Normally I put them up there. Good spot. If I can take something off, that only takes a second. Give myself a lot more room. That is normally the way I'm gonna go. Nice place to put my light. Look at that. All right. Now, if you do not disconnect your battery, remember this underneath here is a hot wire. That cannot touch the ground or that'll not be fun. Tell you what, now that we got that out of the way, let's just put that right there. Nice, lots of room. Alright, take that belt out. We'll save that belt and compare it to our new one. Okay, just realized I wasn't recording there for a few minutes, so to get you up to speed, we removed the tire, we removed this inner shield, which sits in here like this. There's two 10mm bolts. Take those out, it pulls right off. Got to keep all that together. All right. Actually, I wanted to leave that one in there. Want to take that one out. Just make sure all these are pretty obvious where they go before I take them completely off the car. Alright. Okay, so all that is left out a couple steps here. Total 4 bolts that you really need to take out. Go ahead and so as far as loosen this up, I'm going to leave it loose and I'll tighten that up last. Since I'm removing this from the car, I'm going to keep all my bolts together here. Unplug our ground strap here. That's gonna hurt. Get that out of our way. Remove this bracket, 14. Looks like another 14 there. Thing about a light, it can really be in your way sometimes. A lot of times if you can't get your 3/8 ratchet in there, once you break it loose, you can take a 14 on a 1/4" ratchet. You can make quick work of it. Alright, we got one more. It's going to be on the back side there. sure if you can see that up there. Make sure it's on there before we start pulling, because that'll hurt if it's not. All right, got it loose. Let's see if we can take our 14 here and get it out of there. There it is. Jack the motor up a little bit. Comes right out. Next, we're removing our power steering pump assembly. I used a deep 12mm and an extension to come out about right here to loosen this 12 up. The other 12 is up here. We're going to remove that now. Alright, we got a smaller 3/8 ratchet here with a 12mm flex socket. I will try to video this as much as I can. See what I'm doing here. Not sure if you can see that up there or not. Top side of the power steering pump. Wow, that was tight. Just loosen it up enough I can get some slack in this belt. Get off this pump. All right. Alright, back up top. Gonna go and remove these 10mm bolts for the front timing cover. Love me some wobble sockets here. A note that was shorter than the other ones. There's gonna be another one back here. There it is. There you go. This is clipped in here, and here somebody's used a wire tie, which is fine. It serves its purpose. Just have to cut it off there. That looks good, just needs to be cleaned. I'm going to keep all my bolts together here. Alright, we're going to go ahead and turn this crankshaft over to top dead center. This is a 19. We're going to turn this clockwise until we get there, and I'll show you what we're looking for. And this does turn over pretty easy. Alright, here we go. So the notch is right there, but our dot's in the downward position, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it over again. Past it there. Alright. Our notch is back at 0. Little dot in that camshaft housing's up. We should be good to go. Okay, so something I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and mark this cover right here. And it's going to be a lot easier to line this up here than trying to see through that hole. One thing to check while you're in here, and you've probably noticed in the video, we've got quite an oil leak going. If you look right on the back side of this cam gear, there's going to be the cam seal right here, and ours is definitely wet. So we're going to be replacing that. Also on the back side of this valve cover, you look back in this area, it's very wet where the back side of the valve cover is leaking, so we're going to be replacing that too. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and mark this like we had talked about. Paint pens are awesome. Nice yellow mark. Alright, while this belt's still on, we're going to break loose this 14. bit easier way of doing it. Something else we're going to do before we take this belt off. Go back down here. Going to go ahead and take out this 19. Well, that came right off. Okay. If that wouldn't have came off, I would have tried this. Sometimes these come right off, sometimes they don't. Where are my... You can't go crazy prying on this thing because you're prying against plastic. Here's a nice metal spot. She is not budging. Alright, so we have a bolt type wheel puller set. Also works well on harmonic balancers, crankshaft pulleys. We'll use that one. Haven't had to do this in a while. Again, we want to make sure we're not going to mess our threads up. That looks pretty good. I may have to turn this crankshaft. I guess it's going to hit right there. It may seem like a lot of extra work, but it sure does come off easy when you got it right. So if you can't find a crankshaft puller fit your vehicle, try a steering wheel puller. There There it is. All right, while we're down here, I'm gonna go ahead and, wow. Oops. I think these three here are easy to get to. Take this harness off here. Make it a little bit easier to get out of our way. Alright. Just had 3 screws on the bottom. Right here. Keep all the screws together. Be able to reach that one. We'll just take this out the bottom. So in case you didn't see where all those screws were, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, take our screws here. There's a keyway here and then to this crank. I'm not sure if you can see it or not. Just want to make sure it's not loose. If it's loose, go ahead and take it out. Also have this that we'll put with. You can see which way it goes. Sometimes they're beveled more than others. And what I do sometimes is I'll actually put this back in the crank, because still get the pulley off. Just doing that so I can put it back on top dead center here. There we go. This loose. Put a little bit of slack in that, make it a little bit easier to slide off. Take our belt off. Save our belt so we can compare it to the new one. We're going to replace these. It's always a good idea, especially with 200,000 miles. These really should not spin and definitely should not be making noise. They should be a lot tighter than that. That one spins quite a bit. Brand new, they're sealed tight. Real good indication that it's wearing out. So we'll go and take this off. Again, keep all that together. Both of these are 14s. Okay guys, I apologize. I had to jump forward here a little bit. My battery died on the GoPro. So I've done a couple things, but I'm going to bring you up to speed real quick what we've done. Okay, went ahead and started draining the coolant out of the radiator. We are going to do a water pump on this. So while I was doing other things, show you what we did there. And I'm going to go ahead and put this back together. That way you can see how it comes apart. I got our drain. It's right here. Hopefully you can see that. It's just, again, plastic drain. Be very careful. Would definitely do this hand tight. Sometimes I will tighten it just a little bit more. All right. Get this out of the way. This is underneath the cover. Again, hoping you can see this. Nice metal cover. Goes in here. Go ahead. Put a screw in it. Sometimes the washers stick to these. So basically, this is plastic here. So the screws that goes through the plastic have the larger washers. So we'll go ahead and get this started. There's another one. That's for plastic. Get a couple of these smaller ones here. That there. one right here. You'll know where all these go back because you'll be taking it apart. There. This one here. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Looks like 9 total. We're gonna go ahead and tighten these up. Okay, next we are going to be replacing the water pump. We've already drained the radiator, so we're going to go ahead and start with that. Something that'll help if you're not very familiar with this, let's get your new water pump. This is available with the housing or without the housing. We're going to replace the whole thing. We're also going to put a new thermostat in it. We're also going to put a new intake neck on here. Reason being, this is plastic. They also make one that is alloy. I like that a lot better. It's a lot more durable. So we're going to be replacing a couple things here. I find it helpful, especially if you don't do these all the time, to have your new part out. You can see what bolts you have to take out, which ones you don't. That's definitely going to help you get this apart a little bit faster. So we'll set it there so we can see. Alright, first thing, we're going to take this 12mm bolt out here that's holding our alternator bracket. I'm going to keep this together. I'm going to go ahead and pull this lower radiator hose off here. You can get these to twist a little bit. They normally come right off for you. Next, gonna go back here and take these two 10mm nuts off. These are going to come out a lot easier with a ratchet. And that wasn't tight at all, but you can also kind of see where it's been leaking too. Alright, then looking at the front of our water pump here, you can see we have 3 bolts that we need to take out. 10, 10, and 10 below there. Set these up there. Oh yeah, good idea to have a drain pan underneath here. Of course, we got our jack in the way a little bit. That's all right. We're getting most of it. So we're just going to pull out slightly and just move it forward. Comes right out.